Green Bay to Cleveland, where the Browns have uncertainty at the quarterback position with training camp fast approaching. Deshaun Watson's legal situation remains unresolved, while the estranged Baker Mayfield is still under contract with the team. Now, this was interesting. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski was asked about potentially needing Baker Mayfield if Watson is suspended for his situation. And he repeated with all those situations, it's taking info day by day. Now, the reason why I'm interested in this is because Baker Mayfield is on this team. And he has proven that he could lead this team. I know he's got his flaws, but Brooke Pryor, you actually covered him when you worked in Oklahoma. You covered the team. You know this guy, Baker Mayfield. I wonder if you look at him and you say, what is his future with this team if, in fact, they don't have a quarterback? Could you see him saying, or the Browns saying, come on back, and him saying yes?
You know, nobody thrives on revenge better than Baker Mayfield. To me, that is the hallmark of who he is as a quarterback. This is a guy who, when he gets really angry and just ticked off at something, he goes out and he performs. Now, he may not be a top 5 quarterback in the league by any means, but I think that he has a future in the NFL. And I think, honestly, for him, I mean, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Clearly, there's no love lost between him and the Browns. What better way to make yourself relevant again than if there's a suspension with Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield come in there, win 5-6 games. All of a sudden, he's a lot more in demand. He makes himself relevant. He's really good when he bets on himself.
Wow, and I know he said, look, he's sent all the signals. It's done, but what an impact that would have the rest of the NFL. Now, set the scene for us. What's the timeline here for Baker?
Well, it's interesting because, you know, the Browns will start mini camp on June 14th, and is he going to show up? Because if he doesn't, he gets fined. And we, you know, speaking of Deshaun, we saw with the Houston Texans when they were dealing with him, they came to an agreement pretty much under the table of like, look, we're not going to fine you. Don't show up. You can come to the facility. You can work out. But we're not going to punish you if you're not here. Obviously, we don't want you around right now as they're investigating. So here, you know, I'm not sure what the Browns are going to do just yet.
Right.
But Baker Mayfield, if he doesn't want to be fined, will have to show up to camp. And I think that's going to be really interesting to watch.
It makes it very interesting. And you know what? I actually look at this and I take it away from the Browns for a second and maybe put it on Baker. If I was his agent, I'd maybe send him away on a yacht, get him nice and relaxed, bring him back, and then say, Baker, look, you can prove to the entire league that not only are you an elite quarterback because you've led this team to wins, but also that you are a character guy who says, you know what, even though I'm mad and they didn't treat me right, I am showing that I'm above that, and that's what I'll do for you, Carolina or Seattle. Ninko, as you look at Baker, should he show up and prove himself for the Browns?
I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, if this was – listen, the Cleveland Browns went out and guaranteed the most money ever to another quarterback that didn't play the previous year. So the reason why Baker Mayfield isn't the starting quarterback in Cleveland is Baker Mayfield. He had the opportunity. He was the #1 overall pick. They gave him the keys. His issue was standing in the pocket on 3rd and 10 plus and throwing the football down the field accurately. I mean, it's plain and simple. It's the reason why they went out and did this was because of the performance. And the team that they had built around Baker is one of the best rosters in the NFL. So Baker just has to look in the mirror and say, I didn't play to the standards that I was supposed to play to, or else I would still be the starting quarterback here. And the amount of money that he has due this year is kind of making it impossible for him to stay there, especially with the relationship there. It's a strained relationship. So to me, if he is the quarterback there, I think it's a lose-lose situation for him and the organization.
Wow. Lose-lose.
Look, I do think that the contract is interesting, right? We know that the Cleveland Browns, they don't want to pay that guaranteed money that's close to around $19 million. They want a team to take that on if they were to trade for him. But I think if we're going to see Baker Mayfield play football again, I think it would be, and I hate talking about injury, but I think it would be come training camp if we saw a starting quarterback go down or even perhaps a backup quarterback was injured or a team in need. But I think for now, it's going to be in this space with, I think the Browns are going to most likely probably say, hey, don't show up. You're good. We won't fine you. And then we'll see Baker pop up in the summer.
But then bringing it back to Baker again, they say that to you. Brooke, this is a guy who his leverage is at an all-time low. People are making all these assumptions about his character. from what you know of him, could he be that guy who's like, you know what, you tell me to stay home. No, I'm willing to sit here and do whatever you need.
I think so. I mean, he's the guy that does exactly sometimes the opposite of what you want him to do.
Yeah.
I think about the sideline at KU when he was a little bit obscene, but he gets so emotional. And as a coach, you're like, oh my God, can you please tone it down? But at the same time, this guy can be a culture changer. You look at what he did in Cleveland. They beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs in Pittsburgh. And no, that wasn't all Baker Mayfield. He didn't do it all by himself. But I think that this is a guy who, he obviously, like Nico said, he needs to get better on some football things. He is not a polished guy by any means. But because of the culture and the character that he has, he likes to prove people wrong. He wants to come in there and he wants to do it. And I look at a place like Carolina. Think of the swagger he could bring to the Panthers after what he did for
Right.
to the
Oh,
Browns.
man, that would change the game.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.